Hello, my name is Trevor Zerke, and if you're seeing this video, I am super pumped. Because that means you probably reached out to me and were interested in learning about how you can take back your health and start feeling better and moving better in your day-to-day life. That, or you have some really good friends and they sent you this. Either work, I'm not judging. But in this video today, we're gonna cover some of my favorite movements I give to my patients and clients. And they're nice, simple movements that you can do every single morning to help start your day off on the right foot. Introducing a little bit of movement that's gonna help you build up some strength, build up some comfort, and overall just help you feel better with movement, which I know for some people can be a really daunting task. And because I know some of you are probably thinking it, I have made these all fairly beginner friendly. I either think they'll be pretty easy for you to do no matter your physical level, and if I do think it's on the harder end, I offered some alternatives or some modifications you can make it more beginner friendly. And this is the first video I've made like this on either YouTube or my email list, and I want to make a bunch more. And it's for people like you who want to start taking control of their body and their day-to-day health, but don't really know where to start. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of stuff out there on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. But in my professional opinion, a lot of it's very low quality or just too hard for beginners. So my goal is to expand on this document and fill it with tons of high quality, free, educational content that you guys can do to help start taking control of your health. And again, that will always be free, and I hope to update it as much as possible. Now, the goal is obviously if you start moving better and feeling better and you want to take your health to the next step, that's when you can start working with me either one-on-one or in my group training program coming soon. Depending on when you see this video, it might be out now. And that's all about taking an approach to training that not only helps you build muscle and get stronger, but puts equal emphasis on moving better and feeling better through building up your mobility and flexibility. But those are the only paid things I offer. Everything else on this document is going to be completely free. So if you are one of those people who just got access to the link through a good friend, first, thank them. And second, make sure you sign up for this list as well, because that's going to be the only access you have to this document. But enough of that, let's get into the morning routine that you can start implementing tomorrow to help you feel better and move better. The first movement we're doing are some of these gorilla squats. Some of you might recognize these from my Instagram page, but these are one of my favorite movements because it works a lot of different body regions, including your hips, ankles, and your low back. The premise is you grab your feet if you can. I'll show you modification quickly here. Grab your feet, pull yourself into a deep squat, hold that for about 3 seconds, and then push yourself up and try to extend your knees at the top so that we're stretching your hamstrings as well. Almost like you're touching your toes at the top and then pulling yourself into a deep squat. If that's too difficult or you don't have the mobility quite yet to get down there, I suggest using something like a table, a bed, a couch, anything that's going to allow you to brace yourself and kind of hold yourself upwards. Now this does two things. It limits how far you have to bend over at the initial part to either go down and touch your toes. This can help kind of limit that, and you'd only have to bend over and put a little bit of a stretch on your hamstrings. And two, it's something you can use as a brace to hold yourself in that deep squat position, because holding yourself there is going to be relatively hard, and having something that you can brace with can hold you in that position a little bit easier. Second movement will be these assisted hinges. Now what we're going to do is find a wall or something similar that you can put your body weight into, stand roughly 3 to 4 feet away from the wall, enough that you can get this slight lean into the wall, and we're just going to be pushing backwards into a hinge or a tabletop position. Now this is a great movement to stretch not only your hamstrings but your low back, your hips, sort of everything in that posterior chain. So what I want you to think about is using your hands to push off the wall and push yourself and your butt as far back as you can. Hold that bottom position for a few seconds and then pull yourself back up by swinging your hips forward towards the wall, kind of like an RDL or any other hinge variation. Now, like I said, this is a great movement because it not only works on your mobility in your hinge and your hips, but it also helps strengthen your low back, no matter if you can only get down that far or as far as I was going in the first few ones. It's starting to get your back prepped for that much extension. For the next exercise, we're going to be staying in that same position, but instead of doing some hinges, we're going to do some assisted hip hikes. So just like the first one, we're going to use our hands on the wall or whatever object you are using to allow yourself to place some body weight on there. But in this movement, we are just simply hiking your leg up as high as you can, holding that for 4 seconds, and then coming right back down. Now this movement is all about the hip flexors and building up a little bit of strength and a little bit of comfort in using your hip flexors. A lot of times we're told that our hip flexors are just tight and that's why we can't really move our hips, but honestly, we don't use them that much actively. So doing an exercise like this can help you build up the strength and ability to actually pull your hips high. So really drive your knee up, up, up as far as you can, holding that for a few seconds and then simply coming right back down. The next movement is all about our shoulders and our back, and you're going to need either a towel, a sweatshirt, a shirt, anything like this that I'm showing in the video. We're going to be placing that behind our back, thinking about pulling it apart the entire time we're doing this movement. And initially I want you to try it with your palms facing forward. And the movement's easy. We're simply moving our arms backwards while trying to pull that towel and or sweatshirt apart. What this is doing is putting our shoulders into maximum extension, as well as putting our mid-back thoracic spine into extension as well. And these are two movements that we really don't do a whole lot of in our day-to-day life nowadays. And because of that, people oftentimes lack the mobility to do so. So this is a great movement to work on that. Now, a little bit harder is if we flip our hands the other way, so their palms are facing forward. This is going to incorporate a little bit more of the front shoulder, the biceps as well, and your chest. But same concept, moving our arms back as far as we can, holding that top position for a few seconds, anywhere between 3 to 5 seconds, and pushing up, up, up before coming back down and relaxing. If you sit at a desk or do any work like that throughout the day, this is going to be one of your favorite movements that I wouldn't be surprised if you add to your just day-to-day breaks in between meetings or calls, as it really opens up your shoulders and your mid-back. This last movement is combining two things. It's forward folding or forward flexion in your back, as well as rotation as well. Have a seat in either a chair or a couch or anything about knee height. Put your arms behind your head, and then we're simply gonna fold forward. But instead of just doing a normal forward fold, we're gonna add a little bit of rotation before we do it, causing your elbows to be the ones leading the way down instead of just your head. This is a great stretch in your mid-back as well as your low back and even your hips because of the chair height. We're going to alternate between one side and the other side, and you'll probably find you'll be able to get a little deeper each time. A nice cue I like to think is trying to get your elbow to that opposite ankle, so that way we can really get a lot of rotation and a lot of flexion out of this. Now, coming up from that bottom position can be sometimes hard, as it's kind of an ab workout if you think about it. So an easy solution is doing this near a desk or anything you can brace off of, and using one arm at a time, and then using that off arm to kind of push yourself up out of the bottom. So you see here, I'm going down with my left arm, rotating and flexing, and I'm using my right arm to push myself back up so that I'm not relying so much on my abs and my back muscles to pull myself up. And even if you can do the first variation, I recommend trying this one anyways, as you can probably get into a deeper stretch at the bottom because you don't have to worry about bringing yourself back up with your own weight. And there it is. That's a nice and easy morning routine consisting of just 5 easy exercises you can do every single day. Now, you only need to do one set really, but you can do as many as you'd like. All in all, because it's a lot of different body parts being worked, you really don't need that much rest period, so one set of each of these movements shouldn't run you more than 5 minutes, which is a really efficient and effective way to start your morning. And I guarantee if you get consistent with this routine, you'll start noticing that not only do you feel better, but you probably move better too, which are 2 huge steps to getting your body back to feeling how you want it to. If you like this video, make sure you drop a like and even a comment telling me. I'd really appreciate that. And if you're on your YouTube page, make sure you subscribe. I'll obviously be posting a lot of content to the document that you signed up for through my email list, but I'll also be posting some public videos on this YouTube page as well, so you might as well subscribe. Until next time.